Hey, what's good, Alphas? It's OJ Nate here, bringing you a different kind of series this time. So this series is going to revolve around the ALPHAZ app. We're going to kind of do like a weekly update, weekly review on like what dropped in the ALPHAZ app over the last week. There was some newsworthy stuff in the chat room today that's worth discussing. To give a summary of like what's going on in the ALPHAZ app for people that aren't members yet, to give them an opportunity to see what to expect, showing them that there's a lot of worth in the membership for $3 a month, and also giving people a place other than the app to discuss kind of the news or like the blog posts and stuff every week. So this will probably be like a Tuesday drop kind of series that we'll do. So we'll cover blog posts first, videos second, and then any other like chat room stuff that's worth covering or whatever last. But we're not going to be like showing you the content in its entirety, right? This is a paid app, so you should sign up if you care to actually dive into a lot of the details or be able to give the girls comments or anything. Definitely sign up. But this is more just to kind of summarize what's going on for those that are unable to get access to the app or those people that are on the fence. So hopefully this is useful and the series does well, but we'll see. But let's start with the blog post. We will start on the 12th. The 12th's blog post was Hinata's. She basically greets everybody and talking about rehearsing their dance together again. She dropped some pictures. I'll throw some of the pictures here in the video and then you can check it out there. In her last blog, she said she was going to talk about Girl Gang. So this is her next blog. And then she wanted to share something from the shoot. Her concept for Girl Gang was obviously clone. I mean, that was kind of one of the more obvious ones. And there's a quote that she gives here is she told last time, "I removed my human soul to film it." It might have been lost in translation or something, but Hinata, baby, keep that soul, please. Don't scare us like that. And she talks about how unique all the members looked in their outfits and their characters, right? And that's obvious. Like you see it, going from Coconut, the demon motorcycle rider, to Maya, the symbiote, spawn demon, Jurin, the mutant, Juria I equate to like a healer in like a raid. But she says she was in the metaverse. Chisa's like the pilot. So they all have like their own characters and their own thing. Harvey is obviously the mermaid, or the siren is the cooler term, right? Yeah, Hinata talks about how cool and unique everybody was. Demon Maya is what she calls her. Because of the way the song is, she tried to emphasize her coolness in her acting. You don't need to emphasize that, Hinata. You're plenty cool, all right? And she says, get hyped for the mini album. And then lastly, she talks about, because she's been busy, she's been missing out on a lot of her anime. So when she had a chance, she actually binge watched them all in one go. And there's this little, at the end of each blog post, there's a PS where each of the members kind of ask each other a question in their blog post. And then when that member comes up, they answer with their answer and then ask somebody else a question. So kind of, it's like goes around in a circle. It's kind of like a very delayed group chat. I don't want to dive too much into that. If you want to see that stuff, go ahead and definitely subscribe to the app. But I'll call something out if it's like worth mentioning. It's all worth mentioning, but I got to leave some stuff for like the paid members, right? After Hinata, we have Jurin's blog post. Talks about how hot it's been in Korea lately. Tells alphas to, be wary of heat strokes. Make sure to hydrate. Alphas, not just alphas, but everybody, please hydrate. Talks about having, going through the fan letters that they received during their anniversary and how incredibly moved she is. And it's kind of like a bedtime ritual for her that she reads them a couple letters before she goes to bed every night. It's the year 2023, right? I don't handwrite anything anymore, basically. But when the opportunities for the letters came up, when I was in Japan, hand wrote. I went to a stationery store, picked up little cute papers and colorful envelopes, and hand wrote 8, 9 letters, 7, one for each of the girls, one for Simon, one for Steph. And my hand was in so much pain after that. I could have typed it and printed it, but I don't feel it would have been the same. But it probably was more difficult on them because my handwriting nowadays is not that pretty. So we move on to 714. Juria's blog post. How have we been? Talks about how it's unbelievable. It's July already. Talks about how summer's coming to an end. Fall is coming. Her birthday, Coconut's birthday, Amy's birthday, and then Christmas will be here before we know it. And then the start of the new year. I mean, Time goes by fast when you're working as hard as XG. Let's just put it that way. Next, we have a blog post from Maya talking about summertime. So in Korea, apparently it rains. And I don't know if you guys seen on social media how much flooding has been going on in Korea during these rains in the summer. Jurin asked in her blog post what she wanted to do with what the group wanted to do with everybody during the summer. Maya's was barbecue at night on the rooftop was one of hers. Going to the beach. But barbecue on the rooftop, Maya, that's not a bad idea. It sounds like a good time. Cocon'as is here on the 16th, and she posts some behind the scenes photos of her outfit and her motorcycle from the music video. And she mentions in the Alpha, this is the ALPHAZ themed motorcycle, custom made motorcycle. There's actually a wolf face in the paw when you look at it from the front. I guess these are the paws right here. Actually, this is my first time actually taking the time to look at it. Imagine this is the wolf face, right? Eyes, mouth, the ears here, and then this is the paws. That is crazy. And she talks about how she really enjoyed the black stickers that they had on their faces, and each member had a different kind of design, so it wasn't like all like the same on everybody. Oh, of late, of all the blog posts, they've been alluding to like something coming. So I'll quote, word for word here. We're doing our best every day to continue surprising you with these quirky projects, so stay tuned. What can we be talking about? The post from the 17th comes from Chisa, and she does a Q&A. We'll just cover a couple of the questions. I don't want to get into every single one. Sign up for the app if you want to see every single one. Need to leave some mystery for y'all. You know what I mean? Someone asked her what are her best dishes that she's able to make. Someone asked her what was the last time you laughed the hardest? And her answer is pretty funny. She talks about how it's always today. She always strives to be better than she was yesterday, and that includes laughing. So she always laughs the hardest that day compared to previous days. It's going to get to a point, Chisa, where you can't go any harder. Here's a question. Recently, I noticed that there's a lack of recent photos. Is it to avoid showing photos from the new project? In her reply, yes, you're right. There aren't many selfies because it's mostly from our newest project. It's coming. And then lastly, today's post, the 18th, is from Jurin. And I'll quote this. Lately, we at XG have been practicing every day. She talks about how the time spent practicing with the girls is very important to them. I mean, they've been training together, right, for 5-6 years at this point. So they've obviously spent a lot of time practicing together. Here's a little bit. When we're making a new song, each one of our passions would clash, and this amazing synergy would grow and come out to an amazing work. XG's power as a group really does come from the time that we spend improving on ourselves, and I want to continue to value that. And then she talks about how the schedule that they have coming up, ALPHAZ LA, KCON LA in August, September, Singapore, Formula One. Are you kidding me? And the one we're going to in November, Hype Round K-Fest in Abu Dhabi. And she talks about how she'll never forget being able to see all the ALPHAZ faces at New York and in Japan, and she can't wait to experience that again. Lastly, she answers a question about what she's been listening to a lot lately, and she says 90s R&B, Baby by Brandy, One Thing by Mary. And yeah, those are the blog posts for the past week. So there's some video content, and I'm not going to show the video in its entirety, but we'll show like little clips.
Hi ALPHAZ! Hello! Very, very cool yet dark side of Maya today. We went to New York a few weeks ago, but then as time passed by, they were all using their phones and watching their own Japanese anime, and so I was feeling a little lonely, but it was a fun time, and we were all watching it on the bed and chillaxing, so it was a very fun moment that we had. But please enjoy, and hope you like it, ALPHAZ.
So here we see Maya talk about, well, actually, the first thing that was very telling from this video was that she actually mentions that they started filming Girl Gang a couple weeks after New York. So that kind of puts them in the time frame of early June. When we were theorizing about Girl Gang and the production time and everything, I actually had it slated to before they left for New York and Japan, but apparently they shot it after, which kind of makes more sense now with the whole debate about the length of the music video and everything. In order for them to hit the timeline that they expected, or that they needed, or that they wanted, which will probably make more sense as more stuff gets released, time was definitely a factor. that was a very high quality music video. And for them to have shot in June, let's say a week of shooting, and then for it to get, edited down, color graded, CGI and everything for the release that they hit, it's kind of baffling to me. That's kind of crazy. Another thing, we talk about how Maya's was trying to get, Coconut and Hinata to watch Adventure Time and like other cartoons. And they, over time, are like, we're good. We're going to watch some anime. And the last thing, I didn't hear this the first time I watched it, but Maya with a chillaxing. That's kind of like a old school saying. I don't think people say that anymore. Maya, well, who's teaching you this? Chillax. I haven't heard that in forever, actually, now that I think about it.
Hi, ALPHAZ! イエーイ実は最近 ALPHAZ の方からまた、お手紙をいただいちゃって最低1回は読むようにしててすごいやっぱりそういった ALPHAZ の方のお言葉を読むとすっごい日々日々宣言力が湧くしもう今日も一日、全力で頑張ろうっていう気分になりますそしてたくさん一緒に踊りましょうイエーイ
So basically, Harvey talks about there how throughout her day, when she needs a little motivation, she'll go ahead and read the letters from ALPHAZ that were sent in for their anniversary. I feel that they still there was a time frame for them to get it, and there were 2 locations to send it to, right? There was Japan and Korea. I feel like they talk about having received letters recently. I think that might have just been the Japan batch that eventually made its way to Korea into the girls' hands. So there's that. So the last thing to cover is what happened in the chat room today. There are other instances where they talked, but there was kind of a big one today. And let's go to the chat room. So Jurin jumped into the ALPHAZ app earlier today, into the girl gang chat room, and people were asking about the dance performance for the song. And I was theorizing that there was never going to be one, that the choreo that they had planned for that song was only the chorus. But it kind of makes sense that they might eventually do it just because they have to perform it at LA soon, right? So there has to be a full choreo. So people were asking about the dance performance video, and Jurin, not Juria, not Maya, dropped a little spoiler, but take it what you will. Somebody asks, Jurin, need a girl gang dance video for me to survive until next comeback. And then Jurin says, maybe soon. Maybe soon. Like today soon? Like tonight? Could be. Anyways, that's a recap of the ALPHAZ app over the last week. We'll see how this goes and how we could better the formatting of the video. And definitely don't want to just throw all the content out there, right? You guys, $3 a month for plenty of XG content. And if you're joining late, you have so many videos to go back and watch too. And all the behind the scenes stuff on the app is just hilarious. You'll see a more intimate side of the girls, we'll say, in the app than you would compared to what gets released on YouTube and everything. So definitely highly recommend y'all signing up. But if you can't, or there are reasons, why you don't have access to the app, we'll try and summarize, kind of the high points every week, just so you have an idea of what's going on. With that said, this is OGA Nate, the original ALPHAZ. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. We have a lot of good plans, great plans coming for LA. And yeah, I'll catch y'all on the next one. ALPHAZ, you have a wonderful night, day, evening. X6 is what I'm expecting this week. If it doesn't come, then we're wearing clown masks. But we'll catch y'all later. Peace. Later.